Productivity. We all want it. But why is that? Here are some examples. The desirability to be productive is normal. If you're a productive person, you can finish your work faster and can get more done in less time, which means you have more time on your hand to spend however you like, for example, with your family or friends. Productivity also helps you to reach your goals faster and more frequently, which leads your self-esteem to skyrocket. Striving towards something gives you energy, focus and conviction. People who lack this direction are rarely happy because oftentimes they don't meet the expectations they set themselves. And ultimately, we all want to feel happy, don't we? Sometimes we aren't happy because we don't feel productive. And maybe you even know it yourself, the pressure that you don't work like hard enough or long enough. And if you're like me a bit, in terms of competitive thinking, then you also might always have in mind that somebody else is like always one step ahead of you and that you have to catch up and get better, work harder. But there's a way how you can reach peak productivity in 3 simple steps. But therefore we need to figure out what productivity is and what productivity isn't. For most people, productivity means to work 24/7. Sentences come in mind such as, if you don't reach your goals, then you're not working hard enough. And most of them define productivity as productivity is getting more work done in as little time as possible. Even the dictionary defines productivity as the effectiveness of productive effort, especially in industry, as measured in terms of the rate of output per unit of input. Or, in other words, as many results with as little work and time as possible. I want to show you now a new way how you can view productivity, and it's way more healthy and also more sustainable. Not quantity is important, but rather the quality of your work. Therefore, you need to focus on the most important tasks and reduce unnecessary ones. Of course, this is simpler said than done, but decluttering tasks and getting your priorities straight is key. The best way to start is with finding your why. To quote Gary Vee, you're not lazy, you just don't love what you do. It's a given that you can't apply this saying to everything. Personally, I also don't love to take out the trash or clean my apartment. Of course, there are things that are more enjoyable, but that doesn't make me or you an unproductive person. But that definitely should apply when it comes to your work or areas that highly matter to you. If not, maybe think about changing things up. To quote another great person, happiness comes from what we do, fulfillment comes from why we do it. The key is here to really ask yourself why you want to do something, and then figure also out like what are your goals and what you expect out of this. And then you can also like adapt and change your actions depending on what goals you have. But you can't only do this one time, you have to do it on a frequent basis and always adapt and change your direction basically. Just don't be stubborn and only like pursue one direction because you think, oh, this is the right way to go. It only makes you miserable, and of course you want to avoid that. Great, now we know how to choose something to be productive at. And the next step is to create a task hierarchy. Not all tasks are equally important. They differ in workload and intensity. Therefore, you have to learn to choose. Choosing the most beneficial one that creates the most impact. Personally, I love to use to-do lists for that. Either in form of a classic notebook, the standard note-taking app on my phone, or my favorite, a dedicated program like Notion. To make it easier to focus day after day, I recommend writing down your task during the evening for the next day, so you can start tackling your day right after you wake up. Try not to put too much on your plate. What works for me the best is that I always try to not choose more than 4 tasks per day, and then I sort them by priority. Low, medium, high, and your daily highlight. It's pretty straightforward, right? Basically, right, the highlight task is the most important one, then high, medium and low. Simple as that. The highlight task is a great addition that I've learned from the book Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. It follows an easy principle of trying to figure out what is the single most important task per day. Your daily highlight basically gives you a focal point. You can figure out what your daily highlight is by using one of these 3 criteria. Urgency. What's the most pressing thing I have to do today? Satisfaction. At the end of the day, which highlight will bring me the most satisfaction? Joy. When I reflect on today, what will bring me the most joy? But personally, I also like to add a 4th criterion I discovered from the book The One Thing, which is impact. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary? After choosing your why and creating a prioritized to-do list, it's time to get to work. But there's one thing left to do. Cancel out distractions. You probably know the classic way of doing so. Changing your phone into flight mode during work or putting it away altogether. But to reach peak productivity, you you might have to think outside the box and find solutions to your unique problems that distract you. Loud noises that prevent you from concentrating? Use noise-cancelling headphones or construction headphones that lower these loud noises. You want to search for something on YouTube for work, but constantly get distracted by your recommended videos? Use a plugin that prevents seeing recommended videos altogether. Or even if you need to have a lunch break or dinner and need to go to the supermarket or cook something, and that throws you off completely. Meal prep the day before to have food easily available whenever you feel like the need to eat something without losing focus on the task at hand. Don't get me wrong, of course, little breaks now and then are for sure healthy and also beneficial and definitely necessary. So to quickly sum it up, here are my 3 tips for peak productivity. Find your why, create a task hierarchy, and cancel out distractions. I hope you've enjoyed this video and also the 2 cents on this topic from me. If you'd like, you can comment down below your best personal productivity tip. And yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching and I will see you next time.